The video I'm about to show you is what true cowardice looks like. This is what it looks like when you've sold your soul to Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. So this morning, Republican Senator Tim Scott from South Carolina was on MSNBC's Meet the Press with Kirsten Welker, and they were talking about a variety of things in this interview, mainly focusing on the upcoming election. And Kirsten Welker just very bluntly asked him, "Senator, will you commit to accepting the results of the 2024 presidential election, regardless of who wins?" And Tim Scott would not do it. He would not answer the question, and he would not commit to accepting the results no matter what. The anti-democratic rhetoric from the Republican Party continues. So here's that clip of Senator Tim Scott just embarrassing himself live on air.
Senator, will you commit to accepting the election results of 2024? Bottom line.
Well, at the end of the day, the 47th president of the United States will be President Donald Trump, and I'm excited to get back to low inflation, low unemployment.
Wait, Senator, yes or no? Yes or no? Will you accept the election results of 2024 no matter who wins?
That is my statement.
But is it just yes or no? Will you accept the election results of 2024?
I look forward to President Trump being the 47th president. Kristen, you could ask him multiple times.
Senator, just a yes or no answer.
So the American people will make the decision.
But I don't hear you committing
for President Trump. That's clear.
I don't hear you committing to the election results.
Here's the challenge.
Will you commit to accepting the election results?
This is why so many Americans believe that NBC is an extension of the Democrat Party. At the end of the day, I've said what I've said, and I know that the American people, their voices will be heard, and I believe that President Trump will be our next president. It's that simple.
But, Senators, you know, the hallmark of our democracy is that both candidates agree to a peaceful transfer of power. So I'm asking you, as a potential VP nominee, will you accept to commit to the election results in this election cycle, no matter who wins? Just simply yes or no.
I expect President Trump to win the next election. Listen, I'm not going to answer your hypothetical question when in fact...
Yeah, what an embarrassing interaction for Senator Tim Scott. Kirsten Welker put him in a corner, and he just couldn't get out of it. He was panicking trying to answer this question, just couldn't get out of it. And we actually have the exact number of times this question was asked. So on the screen right now, you'll see that Senator Tim Scott, during this interview and that back and forth we just saw, refused 6 times to commit to accepting the results of the 2024 presidential election. 6 times. The answer's so simple. If someone asks you and you're in a position of power, and we all know that Tim Scott is auditioning to be Trump's vice president. That's what he's doing here. But if you're in a position of power in the United States government and someone asks you, "Senator, will you accept the results of the election?" The answer is always yes. And then you move on. The interaction's over. You shouldn't have to be asked 6+ times to, number one, answer the question, and to, number two, actually engage in the conversation, of which Tim Scott refused to do. Embarrassing. And look, this is incredibly concerning for a number of reasons, but the main thing in my eyes is the fact that they're doing it again. They're doing it again. The MAGA Republicans are threatening our democracy again. They're laying the foundation to challenge the results. Trump did this exact same thing in 2016, in 2020, and now in 2024. They are laying the foundation to once again say that it was not fair. Before the election has even happened, they're saying, you know what, I won't commit to it. And they're using this incredibly illogical thinking of, well, if I win, then it's okay, then it's fair. But if I don't win, then there's something to be looked at. There's something fishy happening here. They're just trying to do it again. They're setting it up. So if Joe Biden wins, you'll see people like Tim Scott and you'll see people like Donald Trump out there saying, no, we don't accept it. And we're going to be plunged into the chaos that we were in 2020 again. It's just insane. And one last thing I want to add to this is that not only do we have Republican politicians in positions of power denying the results of elections and saying that they will not commit to results in elections, but we also have the RNC, the organization, suing swing states around the country, trying to block them from counting votes. They want to make sure that our voices are suppressed. This was confirmed in a Fox News interview this morning by Laura Trump, who is obviously very high up at the RNC now because Donald Trump helped her get there. Take a look at that clip as well.
Saying for a while now that your priority is to ensure a transparent election, and I see that the RNC and the Trump campaign filing a lawsuit in a battleground state to stop counting ballots past Election Day. What are you doing with regard to suing Nevada right now?
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. You cannot have ballots counted, Maria, after elections are over. And right now, that is one of the many lawsuits we have out across this country to ensure that just that happens, that we have a free, fair, and transparent election. So in Nevada, as you pointed out, we are saying we want on Election Day that to be the last day that mail-in ballots can be counted. And we've been very successful in a lot of lawsuits. A couple weeks ago, we won a big lawsuit in the state of Pennsylvania. They wanted to take off dates from mail-in ballots, of course, the Democrats, in an effort to make it easier to cheat. We pushed back on that. We won, and that set precedent for the entire country.
Yeah, so, hey, Laura. Harry here. Elections aren't over on Election Day. There's no, end date to an election. I don't know why this is so difficult. We have Election Day where votes begin to be counted, but the election's not over until all votes are counted. That's how elections work in the United States. And there are different laws in different states that make it harder for people to count mail-in ballots on the day of the election. So they're trying to sue to make sure that any mail-in ballot that's not counted on November 5th, 2024 is invalidated and thrown out, that their voices, their vote are gone. And we all know that mail-in ballots are heavily Democratic. So they're trying to do this in the swing states to make people's voices, the people who are likely voting for Biden, make sure that their votes are invalidated, that they're just not counted, they're thrown out, and they're suing these swing states. It is a multi-pronged approach to go at our democracy. They're taking this from multiple different angles, not only just saying, hey, we're not going to accept it, but we're also going to try to make sure that your voice is not even heard, that you don't even have a say. It's just insane what these MAGA Republicans are trying to do to our democracy, our country, the institutions we hold dear in this country and have done so for centuries now. So we have to make sure that we get out there and make our voices heard. Because if we don't, if we decide to sit out or people decide not to vote for Biden because they're not excited, then this may be the last election we ever get to vote in. Because we'll have these laws of which, these votes can be thrown out, but not these ones. These Trump votes we can keep, but these Biden votes, they got to go. So we have to get out there and make our voices heard. And I'm confident we will. And I know you watching, you're going to go out there, you're going to do it. You're going to get your friends and family to do it. I have faith in all of you. But man, we just have to make sure that Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans don't get back into office. So anyway, I'll leave the video there. Much to think about, much to ponder, and a lot to fight for, a lot on the line. So I appreciate you being here. Make sure to subscribe down below. It goes such a long way. I greatly appreciate the support. Also drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think. And as always, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.